What's going on, people? What is happening? You see me. I'm here by my dolo. But anyway, what's happening, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. A little different setup, same location, but just changed some stuff because it's the holidays and I got to reorganize stuff. Got to have the tree up and all that stuff. So, had to move some stuff around. But thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all as always. Sorry for the late time, but today was one of those days where work had a late day, and so I had to kind of maneuver some things and still figure out how to bring you guys the show. So, but I made it, and that's the key. I did make it. So thank you guys. Shout out to my guy Jose. Shout out to John. Appreciate you guys. Obviously, both had prior engagements. Well, Jose could have made it if I were able to do it earlier, but he can't do it later today. So, it's okay, man. We just figure out a way to get it done. And shout out to John. Very special day for him and his family. Today is his wife's birthday, so they're celebrating. They had plans to celebrate today, so wishing her the best, and hopefully they have a really great time, and the night's wonderful. What can I say? All the best. So let me see here, guys. I know it's a little, like I said, it's a little different time, but we still ripping and rocking. And the only reason why I even decided to do it at this time today is because of the fact that the Queen is on her vacation. So she's not doing her show, I don't believe, at the normal time, unless she might be back. Who knows? You never know. I don't want to cut into her stuff, but I don't think she's back. So as you guys could see from the title, if you saw it, this is your show today, guys. Your show. Try to do this like once a month, where we do a fan type show where you guys can kind of dictate what you want. I mean, a lot of times we have topics here that we cover to try to create the conversation and create the narrative so we can have a good conversation. But sometimes it's nice to see what you guys are thinking, where you want to go with it, because you guys have a voice, and we definitely want to hear it. Now, unfortunately, because of this late hour and the fact that people probably were not expecting the show to even come on, I know it's a little difficult. People are just kind of catching in on it slowly. But so what I will do is, in the meantime, I'm gonna hit you guys with what I normally hit you with, and then if you guys, as you guys have questions or whatever comes up, feel free to chime in, jump in with whatever you got going on, and we'll go from there. I think that works. So first up, there's only 3 NBA games going on tonight, guys. Not a lot of action. And looking at these matchups, they're okay, but these are not like the must-see TV matchups either. However, one game that might be slightly intriguing to people is the Clippers versus the Miami Heat. The LA Clippers versus the Miami Heat tonight. The reason why it's somewhat interesting is because uh, Jimmy Butler is back. Jimmy Butler is back. He picked the perfect time, I guess. So let me see. Why don't I put this up there so you guys can see what I'm looking at as well? All right. So yeah, Jimmy Butler is back, folks. And let me see, can I make this a little bigger? All right. And in Jimmy Butler fashion, he comes back and he's got 18 points, like nothing. 7 of 9 shooting, 2 of 2 from three, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He's got 6 assists, 3 steals. I mean, Jimmy Butler's a machine, man. Let's see. Okay, Cody Martin's got 17. Bam, I don't know. It's just me. I just never understand Bam Adebayo. I'm so like I always think that this guy is like the next level of player, but he's so like when you think he's gonna go off, he doesn't go off. When you don't think he's gonna go off, he goes off. I don't know. I mean, he's got 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. And I feel like when I watch him, he could do this almost every night. Maybe not every night, but almost every night. He's got so much talent and skill. Yet there's so many nights he puts up, some really interesting numbers. He may not even get double digits rebounding, and then his point total is low when it's sometimes he goes up and he has good matchups where I would think he's going to dominate. That doesn't happen. I can't put my finger on Bam Adebayo. He's a tricky one. Tyler Hero's got 11 points. He just doesn't look like he has a shot tonight. 3 of 10 shooting. So that's what the Heat have been doing. And as you can see, the Clippers are up 87-84. Let's see what the Clippers got going on. What they got. Nicholas Batum is 4 of 7 with 11 points. Marcus Morris Sr., 4 of 10 with 11 points. Zubac with his usual in between 9 and 37. Yeah, this guy goes from having 9-point games, averaging around 11, 9, whatever it is, and then he'll have a 27-point game. I mean, what did he have? He had some wild stat. I think it was like 27 points or 30 points and 27 rebounds. That was the most ridiculous stat I've seen in a long time. That happened like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? It's crazy. Reggie Jackson has 10 points. I'm sorry, guys. If you're Clippers fans, I don't know if you know my take and how my stance on Reggie Jackson. I don't like Reggie Jackson as a player. I just feel like he's got talent, and it never really, you never get to see the best of it. Like every night he has these low scoring, low assist, low rebound type thing. And the low assist thing kills because he's the point guard on a team with Paul George, John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, and we're in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, he's got 3 assists. I don't know. You've got Luke Kennard in your team too, a very good shooter. Whatever. I digress. I don't quite understand it, man. And I never get it. I never get it. So who else we got there? Oh, and obviously Paul George. Yeah, Paul George solid always. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 for 16 shooting. Yeah, this is a nice little battle they got going on here. Interested to see who wins this game. So that's one of the 3 games on the docket. The other 2 games, you've got the Houston Rockets versus the Spurs. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Jabari Smith Jr.'s got 6 points. Sengun's got 8 points. It's still early in this game. I think, are they in the second quarter? Yep, 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Eric Gordon's got 7 points. Uh, let's see. Porter Jr.'s got 8 points. Man, Green's got 7 points. And for San Antonio, Keldon Johnson's got 14. Tyus Jones got 13. It looks like Vassell is out for this game. I think he got, I might have tweaked something. I heard he got hurt, but I don't know exactly what happened. So I got to look at that. And Vassell's been killing, man. Vassell's been great. Surprised. I didn't know he would. I mean, I knew he could be good, but he's been really good. Definitely interesting. And so, look at the distribution. The Spurs got two guys that are really kind of carrying the load. And, for Houston, like everybody's in it. That's interesting. Really interesting. So that's the second game on the docket. And then the third game is the Denver Nuggets versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I guess there is a little bit of sex appeal to it because Dame Lillard is playing tonight, apparently. Because really, when you look at Portland, they're a team of three guys, right? They got some really, nice role players, good pieces, but it comes down to, Dame Lillard, Jeremy Grant, and Anthony Simons. That's the mix. And for Denver, the pieces. You got Jokic, you got Murray. Unfortunately, I think Michael Porter Jr. got hurt again or tweaked something. Yeah, that's tough, man. Always on the shelf. Let's see. Injuries. Nuggets head coach Michael Malone said Thursday that there is still no time for. Okay, he's got a heel injury, so that's what it was. Because I knew he got hurt, but I was like, I don't know what it was. A heel injury. Kentavious Caldwell Pope is day to day, but he most likely will play. So yeah, I mean that's what's going on, guys. That's what it looks like. Now let me see here. Take a look at the standings. I'm going to take a quick look and then I'm going to get to you guys in the chat. Like, because this is really supposed to be the fan hour. It's supposed to be about you guys, but I know people were coming in late. So I wanted to give you guys a little time to get in here. But as you can see, Boston 21-5, Milwaukee 18-6, Cleveland 16-9. And those are the top three teams in the Eastern Conference. Everything else is very middle of the pack, guys. I mean, look at this. Any team that goes on a nice little run in this middle of the pack can propel themselves up to the fourth spot. That's nuts. That's how much parity is in the East. I mean, look at that. Look at the amount of games that separates 4 through 12. 3 games, guys. That's crazy. 3 games. Wow. I mean, it's still very early, but just look at that. 14-12, 13-12, 13-12, 13-12, 12-12, 12-13, 11-14, 11-14, 10-14. I mean, wow. The East is going to be crazy, man. Coming down the stretch, it's going to get wild. Who knows what's going to happen? And I know this is not going to stay this way, guys, but just look at that. Look at the Knicks at 9th place with 12-13, and look at Miami underneath them. That's the wildest thing ever. I don't even know how to take that. That's just crazy. All right, so let's go to the West real quick, and then we'll get to you guys. So Western Conference 16-8 for the New Orleans Pelicans, leading the Western Conference right now, guys. 16-8, the Pelicans. Phoenix Suns are 16-9. I'm expecting the Phoenix Suns to take off and go on a nice little streak. But I will say that we've seen since last year's playoffs, Phoenix is human. I mean, they'd be human, of course, but you know what I mean? Like, they were so locked in and on such a run in the regular season. And then, that wake-up call that they got in the postseason, they have not been the same. Chris Paul has not been the same since that last postseason when he looked his age. He had a birthday in the postseason, and he looked every bit as old as that birthday. And it's just never looked the same since. It's crazy. So that's interesting. So 16-8 for New Orleans. Phoenix is 16-9. Memphis is 16-9. I keep thinking that Memphis is going to kind of fall off a little bit, but the 16-9, and they've had some little nagging injuries. Bain has been out for a little bit. Jaws missed a couple games here and there. Uh, They're doing pretty good considering. Denver Nuggets 14-10. Denver, I don't know. I'm still not sold on them. I think they have unfortunately, with the injury prone guys, that's tough. But I think the other thing is like I don't know if they've gelled yet. Like I mean, how much time has Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray had how much time have they had a chance to play with on the court together? Not much. And then you go from Jokic being the point guard, the rebounder, the main scorer, and taking control of everything last year because he was the only one, to now having to take a back seat and incorporate Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. And I think they've been trying to find a happy balance between the two. But they're not bad. 14-10 is definitely not bad at this point, and they can get better. It seems like they've not quite hit it, yet. Not yet. Not full gear. Sacramento's been surprising at 13-10. And Utah is really starting to come back down to the pack. I know they're still looking good at 15-12. I mean, who would have guessed this? That doesn't look like a tanking team. And then you get the parity. And then you get the West Coast parity. 13-11, 13-11, 14-12, 13-13, 12-12, 11-14, 10-14 for the Lake Show. And in between 6th place and 13th place, the difference is 3.5 games. It's a lot of parity in the NBA, guys. This is nuts. I don't think I can't. I know I must have seen this before, but I'm trying to remember when's the last time we seen the NBA with so much, parity, with so many teams that had talented players or had a chance to kind of like, stay in the playoff run and stay in the mix. It's wild. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. All right, guys. So, I mean, that's pretty much, what I wanted to get into real quick. But now I want to get to the chat and salute to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. I know it's a late start. Y'all wasn't even expecting it to be on, be on. I couldn't get the thumbnail and all that stuff up earlier because I was at work all day. But shout out to y'all. The coolest 718 is in the building. What's good? Manchild is here. Cormega is in the building. And while I'm shouting you guys out, once again, I want you guys to know that tonight's show is about you guys. So whatever you want to talk about, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. This is the NBK fan hour, folks. So this is your time. If there's anything that like there was a topic that you're like, oh man, I wish they would talk about this, but we don't talk about it, we don't cover it. Yeah, put it in there, man. We'll talk about it. Like I said, we want to try to do this once a month to dedicate one show if we can to the fans of the teams. So that way, we can start talking about certain things that, maybe we didn't. Maybe there's a team out there that we never talk about. And like, yo, man, listen, I want to talk about my Charlotte Hornets. All right, let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets. So shout out to you guys. Stream Elements in the building. I didn't forget you. Like I said, D Coolest, Manchild, Comega, Jay Boogie in the building. What's good? Salutes to my guy Ron in the chat. Appreciate you. Jay Boogie, what's going? Bell has rung. Where the chat at? We still Knicks fans. And since you said the Clippers, my homie John Wall is leading the bench that leads the league in the score. Hey, okay. I see you, Jay Boogie. That's true. Very true. He's looked pretty good, man. So I wasn't sure how. Well, time will tell. But I like the fact that he's kind of looked like he's been taking care of his body. He's been out there playing. He's had a couple games of rest here and there, but he's looked a lot more solid than like Kawhi Leonard, for example. He hasn't been able to play a lot at all. So yeah, man. Worldwide L in the building. What's good? Appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you. Cash out James Gold, all in my, you know what I'm saying? Cash out. Appreciate you. Good to see you. And Nick Yak is in the building. What's good? And of course, there's also you know some of you out there that are watching along, but don't really get into the chat too much. Salute to you guys as well. Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. Show your love and support for the NBK fam, and also still Nick fans. Quality jumpers in the building. What's good, my guy? Good to see you. He said, "Gone is the hero ball era and truly dominant teams. That's why we see so much parity." It's a fact, 100% fact. Um, it just it's different now. It's very different, and there's no super teams when you really think about it, right? No, there's no super teams. I mean, technically, on paper, there could be a couple, but they're not really because of whatever injuries and a different level of play. Because some might say the Clippers could be looked at, viewed as a super team. John Wall, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Reggie Jackson. Even though I don't agree with Reggie Jackson, that mix of players should be pretty dynamic. But they got a nice center, they got a good 3-point shooter in Kennard. You know, it's not a bad mix. But Shot Powers is in the building. Salute. What's going on, Shot Powers? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I got quality. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I agree, man, child. The Jazz will come back to earth soon, very soon. It's just over time, but I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting to see how they got off to this great, crazy start. I don't know. Man, child said, "Let's talk about the trade rumors." Ah, I hear you. I hear you, brother. Uh, you know, I honestly don't know too much about the rumors around the NBA because it's kind of early. So I've seen a bunch of hypotheticals in regards to the Knicks. I don't like any of them really. We obviously know that there's some teams that would like to get some inquiries about their players. We do see that Washington Wizards may be shopping Kyle Kuzma. I'm kind of surprised, but the thing about Kyle Kuzma is he's terribly inconsistent. Like he has a lot of talent, a lot of different ability, and he's very streaky. Like when he's on, he could be lights out against any team, no matter. You can try to guard him. When he's on, he's tough, but he's rarely on like that. That's the problem. He goes through these spurts. This year, he hasn't had a lot of good basketball play in comparison to last year. I think last year he went on a spurt of games. I just can't remember how many games it was, but he went on a spurt of games where he was like getting 30 points a night on in that spurt of games, maybe even a little bit more. I don't know. But yeah, he was clicking at that. But he has that thing in him to do that, but he just never can really put it together. And I'm kind of surprised that in this Washington Wizards team, where Bradley Beal is not like the best Bradley Beal we've seen. He's still very good, but he's not like something you could tell something's a little different with him right now. I don't know if he's truly healthy or what, but it's not the same. So that leaves the door open for a guy like Kuzma to make his stake and really kind of be a big part of this Washington Wizards team. Porzingis has played well, however. I will say he's played very well. And then these other guys that I thought might step up and have good seasons, health obviously plays a big part, but like Rui Hachimura has a lot of talent. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to really talk about the rookie too much because he never plays. But he hasn't shown up to be what we thought. Johnny Davis has not shown much as of yet, but it's still early, so there's time. Maybe he's one of those real late bloomers, and the NBA is just a little fast right now for his style of play because he's got to really fit. He's a methodical type of player, right? But he's got a good skill set on offense, good skill set on defense, and we really haven't seen any of it. So we'll see how that pans out with him. I don't know if I don't think it's too early to say that he's a bust at all. So I don't know if that's the case. I think maybe it's a bad fit for him with Washington, though. So, yeah, it is what it is. What else we got? We know about the Lakers obviously need someone. They definitely need help in some form or fashion. They've been linked to different teams. Most recently, the Knicks because of the apparent Cam Reddish rumors that the Knicks are looking to unload Cam because he requested a trade, even though he has come out and vehemently denied it. But he did that last time he requested a trade, and later we found out he did request a trade. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of the same thing. But like the packages I've been seeing, like for example, for Cam, is the Knicks getting, Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverly. I don't know. I don't know about that, guys. Here's the weird thing, and this sounds weird and kind of crazy. I've said many times that the Knicks need a bulldog on the team. They need a pit bull. They need a guy who can go get it, floor like leader, person who can help put people in the right spots on defense. Patrick Beverly is that guy. I just don't like Patrick Beverly. Like, I just don't like him. And I don't know if he is the same version of himself that he was all these years that I praised him for his defensive excellence. Like, he's getting older as other players too. He's been in the league for a minute. And I just don't know if he is as dominant defensively as he used to be. But he still talks like he is and he still acts like he is. But if you're not, I don't think I want you on my team because your voice and the way you impact the rest of the team and the players is a little bit of a liability. If you're playing at a top-notch defensive level, you take it. We deal with it because the proof is in the pudding. But if you're not, I don't want to hear you mouthing off, acting a certain way with all these antics, and you're not backing it up. And then offensively, he is not desirable. Let's put it like that. Right now, Patrick Beverly is not doing it on offense whatsoever. So I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I'd much rather send Cam somewhere else to at least get a favorable player back in the trade. And if they are trying to unload Fournier and Cam is attached to that, then no, you got to give me something a little better than Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn at this point in their careers. Sorry, my feeling. I'm not saying these guys are great that we've given up, but there's potential in Cam. Fournier can shoot the three. The Lakers need a guy who can shoot the three. So we're giving them something. We got to get something in return. 100% facts. Why bring, Kendrick Nunn here is not bad. It's not bad, but I just don't understand how he helps the team. He plays in a position where we don't need his help. What we need is a wing player. And we're possibly might be trading a wing player. So yeah, man. I don't know. What you guys think about that one, but that's kind of interesting. Let's see. Before I get to this other stuff, let me get to. I see you, cash out. He said, "Talk about the Pacers' good start." Yeah, man, the Pacers is very. That's a very surprising team. I'm gonna pull up their roster as well because they are sneaky good, right? Like, I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting them to come out the gate like this. It is really really interesting. Let me use this one. All right. Let's see. Go up here. These paces at. Where them paces at? Let's see what this roster looking like. So they got Goga Betadze. I don't know how to say his name, so don't mind me for butchering it. O'Shea Brissett, Kendall Brown, and these three guys are guys we don't see too often. But then you've got Chris Duarte, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's been pretty good for Indiana. He's been one of their best scorers, and for the most part, pretty consistent, averaging around 14, 15 points a game. I think that's around where he's at. He might be a little better now. Halliburton has been great. Now, the problem with Halliburton is we've seen the injury bug rear its ugly head with Halliburton. That's one of the things that kind of follows him. It followed him in college, and people in the NBA were a little worried about him. That's why he even got drafted where he did get drafted. If he didn't have the slight frame that he has and the injury concerns, Tyrese Halliburton might have went top 5. Yeah, because he's very talented. So then you got Isaiah Jackson, good player. I like what he brings. James Johnson. Mm, if there was a player that I've always hated, I know hate is a strong word, guys, but ever since I was younger, if there was one player that I despised, it was James Johnson. And it's not because he was a bad player. I just didn't like him. He was one of those guys that gets in your face and does all types of stuff, and he was clutch at certain points, but he was in your face and like, he just made me look like I'm like, oh man, he got me so mad. Those are usually the good players. He's a great role player. I mean, he's older now, so you don't get as much out of him, but he had his moments back in the day. Benedict Mathurin has been a very surprising rookie player for these Indiana Pacers. We've already seen him take over some games, so he's shown his ability. He does still have some rookie moments, rookie growing pains that he's going through, but he looks good. He looks like a baller. I see you, Jay Boogie. I know you was high on Benedict Mathurin too, man. Yeah, he looks like a baller. TJ McConnell, steady. Here's the guy that I really like, and I wish the Knicks could get him. So if there was a way that the Knicks could pull off a trade with Indiana, I would want them to get the big piece that Indiana would like to move off of, if that's Miles Turner, whoever it is. But if they could sneak Andrew Nimhard in there, come on, baby, let's go. Because he's the type of guy that would be perfect for the Knicks. He's a good facilitator, a decent shooter. His form is ugly, but it goes in. But he's a really good headsy ball player, smart, great court vision, fantastic court vision. To have him as a backup guy, see, because you don't really need for the Knicks in particular, they got Jalen Brunson. We already know what Jalen Brunson is, what he can do. Off the bench, you got question marks. You got Deuce, who doesn't really show that he can orchestrate as much. He has his moments where he can give you 6, 7 assists. He did it last night. But because he's a liability scoring wise and doesn't really do too much on that end, there's openings and windows that he doesn't create, and he doesn't have a really good first step. If Deuce had a really good first step, I think Deuce would be the backup point guard for these Knicks, because I think he would be getting wherever he wanted to get on the court. He'd be breaking these dudes down, and he would be facilitating incredibly. Plus, Deuce has a really good mid-range jumper. You just don't see it. Instead, he's out there taking 3-point shots. Today's NBA, guys. Mm-mm. Anyway, so Andrew Nimhart, very nice looking young player. He's had a game winner already this season. He had a 30-point game already this season because of the fact that Tyrese Halliburton has been out. Andrew's been playing a lot of good minutes. And I think he even had 13 assists and 30 points in that game. Yeah, Andrew Nimhart I like his game. You got Aaron Nesmith or Naismith, however you pronounce it. I don't know what to say about Aaron Naismith. Uh Boston really didn't think twice about trading him, so that says a lot. You got Trevelin Queen, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith is another nice ball player. Big body, 6'9", 215 pounds. Can stretch the floor, has a little physical gene in him, but I like the fact that he can stretch the floor. You got Terry Taylor, Daniel Tice, and then Miles Turner. It's an interesting team, guys. Sneaky good, sneaky good. Can they keep it up? Who knows? We'll see. We will see. Um, let's see what else we got going on here. Well, first, let me read this. Nick Yak says, stay positive. Next 10 games, nobody with more than a 1-game lead on us. We can go 8-2 or 7-3. I guess he's talking about the Knicks. That's true. It's very true. You never know if they continue with with this new rotation that they're doing and playing this type of defense and showing this effort, the Knicks might be in a really good position to move up. That doesn't mean they're going to stay there, guys. I will tell you this: this East is tough, man, because all it takes is for some of these teams to go on their own little runs, and then you're going to see the dominoes just keep moving. It's like checkers, pieces moving all over. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Um, I honestly, all the Knicks really need is consistent play from RJ Barrett and for Julius to keep playing the way he's playing. Jalen Brunson will play the way he plays. Just because he has an off night, it happens. But if RJ can start being consistent with his game, and then you start to get what you've been getting from Grimes, well, what you're starting to get from Grimes, and then the other things that you already have on the team that you already know about, the stuff, the play of Mitch, the play of Hartenstein, they could be a tough team, and they can make a run to get into the playoffs, at least in that play-in spot. So, um, Shaw Power said there's a chance that New York Knicks move on from even D Rose and IQ. Yeah, there definitely is a chance. I mean, D Rose is on this minute restriction thing for whatever reason. It's not like they've said that that's what he's on, but you can see it's like he doesn't play a lot of minutes for whatever reason, and he's making 14 million a year. So yeah. And IQ, let me tell you guys something about IQ, and don't hate me, okay? I'm just being a realist. I want my team to be better. I want them to be good at some point and get to the promised land, but that's going to take some time. Um, I don't think that IQ is the guy here for the long haul for these Knicks. I don't because of the also the way they're using him. I don't think he's the right person to be the backup point guard for the team. I think you need a little bit more of a dynamic type orchestrator slash scorer. If you can get that, great. Even if he's a playmaker that plays defense really well, that's okay too. But you got to have a playmaker. You got to have that backup for the Knicks needs to be a playmaker because that's going to take these guys to the next level. If the Knicks had an Andrew Nimhard here who sees the floor great and can really pinpoint and pass guys open, you guys know the term passing someone open. When the defense is on a player, you see a window, a lane to pass the ball where the player can make a move and get to an open look, open layup, or whatever it is, get into an open shot that he may not have been able to create for himself because obviously he doesn't have the ball. So you're passing him open to that spot. Things like that. Nimhard can do that. He's not the only one who can do it. There's other guys out there that the Knicks can look at that can do it. But I definitely think, and I apologize. I forgot I have this. Let's see. Hey, man, that's a little something. Makes it a little better. Yeah, I think that's the type of thing that they should look at because. So my point is, I look at IQ's game and has he gotten better on defense? Yes, definitely. And I like his heart. I like his spunk. But my problem is for what I thought IQ was going to be, I don't think he's that. Like he's much better at defense than I expected. I give him credit for that. He improved. But I thought our IQ was going to be our shooter. Like I thought, we brought in Fournier and he became our shooter and broke the Nick record for threes. But I always thought IQ was that type of guy. I thought, oh, the Knicks should stop playing him at point guard and let him be a shooting guard so we could see the best of him. He can get out there and light it up. My issues with IQ is I don't think he's that good of a shooter. Is that a hot take? I don't think it is. I don't think he's that good of a shooter. I'm sorry to say it because I look at his numbers. If you look at what he did when he came into his rookie season, he shot 39% from three, almost 40. It was 39.8, something like that. So okay, let's round it off. Let's say he shot 40% from three. That's a great number, especially as a rookie. Fantastic. He shot around 88% or 89% from the free throw line. I see those two numbers. I say to myself, this guy can shoot. He's going to be a great shooter, right? So he shot 39%. Last year, he took a dip and those numbers dropped. Let me pull them up so that way you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not just saying it. He didn't take a huge dip, but enough of a dip that like I'm like a little surprised because I'm thinking he's supposed to be trending upwards or at least somewhere around there, staying stable. So first year he shot 39%. Oh, I apologize. He didn't shoot 40%. Did he? Yeah, he shot 39% from three. I apologize. So 39%. Then his year two, he shot 34%. League average is around 36%. 34% is not horrible, but like I said, I'm thinking, quickly is going to be an elite type shooter. This year so far, he's shooting 31% from three, guys. So you could say, all right, Ron, from the free throw line, he shot 89% as a rookie, 88% in his second year, 84% this year. So he's still a really good shooter. What makes you think he's not a good shooter? Well, let's look at how he is from the field. First year, he shot 39% from the field. That's not good. You would want to guard, and shout out to Feet Sports, my guy Profit. You would want a guard to shoot around 44%, you know, or higher if they could. But somewhere around 43, 44. He shot 39 the first year. Um, Second year, he shot 39 again. This year, he's shooting 40. So you know what I mean? Like I thought that he was going to be uh like next level type of 3-point shooter the way it looked. And the other thing about him, he's very indecisive with his shot. How many times, guys, if you look at Manuel quickly, have you seen him hesitate to take the shot when he's open, dribble, put the ball down on the floor, and then try to shoot it again? Or hesitant, put the ball on the floor, try to step to the side to get another shot? I just think there's a lot of little indecisiveness there. And when you're trying to be a good shooter, you got to be a gunner. And doesn't mean jack up shots. It just means take the shot when it's open. You got to be willing to pull and go from there. But Quickly's had a habit of taking some really bad shots in the past. I think his shot selection has improved, however. All right, so that was my long take on Quickly, and the reason why I did that is because I feel like the best time to get any value for Quickly would be right now. Why keep this guy here and lose out an opportunity to possibly get some better talent in a package deal with him in it? And then later you find out, well, he's still that in between guy. He's not a great point guard. He's not a great shooter because I thought he was going to be a better shooter, but he never really goes to that next level. Now, I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying for this Nick team, I think they need something different because they got a lot of people um, that are like on the fringe, not where they need to be. All right. I wonder what you guys think about that. I know you love Quickly. I know some people didn't like him before, but people are starting to really warm up and love him now. So I know that may not be what everybody feels, but that's my take on him right now. Um, Jay Boogie said, Chris Paul, it's too old now. Take a look at his new commercial where he just barely outwalks an 80-year-old. I hear you, Jay Boogie. Oh, man. Sha Power said there may be a chance that Reddish may stay. I don't know what you think. Nah, Sha. Nah, buddy. I said this a long time ago, right? And I still believe this to be the case. Um, I don't feel the Knicks want to pay Cam Reddish what Cam Reddish thinks he's worth. That's the problem. If Cam Reddish was willing to just take, maybe a small deal, but I don't know. Actually, I think with these rookie contracts, after the first rookie deal is up, the second one has to be a certain number of years and a certain amount of money. So you can't even like finagle it. Like if the Knicks were able to give Cam a 2-year deal for X amount of dollars, and he's like, I'm gonna bet on myself. In these next 2 years, I'm gonna get busy, and then I'm gonna go get my big contract after that. I'm cool with that. But one, I don't think the NBA allows you to do that with young guys. You can only do that with like veteran players who have played a certain number of years. And two, think Cam thinks he's worth more than that. And listen, he may be right. He's played really good, sound defense. We know he has all types of ability on the offensive end. We haven't seen all of it yet, but we know he has it. Um, so I think that's kind of what it is. I just think that that would be a really good look if they could get him on a short-term deal, maybe 2 years. He has a chance to prove himself once again, and then get that big contract. I would take that. But I don't that's like I said, that's not how it works in the NBA for young players. So he's gonna need to get a 4 year, a 3 or 4 year deal, I think. I think maybe it's even a 4 year deal. Um, so yeah, what's going on, Kaiser Soze? What's good? Yeah, no, you are not on the wrong channel, my friend. This. I mean, listen, still Nick fans is here, man. NBA report, you see it. As I said, this is your show, guys. If you want to talk about certain things, let me know. We'll talk about it. There's a team out there. You want to talk about the Houston Rockets? Let me know. We'll talk about the Houston Rockets. Um, Jay Boogie said Bradley wants up out of there. I told you guys going to sign with that big contract and then want to shut down. Yeah, man. Listen, you ain't lying. I don't know. Bradley Beal is just something not right. And, he was very, you got to give him credit for being a true one. There's a certain level of real ones out there that loyal to their teams, but I think Bradley should have left. I felt like he should have left at that time, but it didn't happen that way. So, Manchild says we need that pick from the Wizards, so I'm rooting for them to. Yeah, I hear you. Facts on facts on facts. Nick Yak said, Obi out 3 weeks is our chance to try Cam at 4. What can he do that Obi does? How is a 4 covering him? It's interesting because Cam has enough length that, the Knicks might be able to sneak around with him at the 4. I mean, unless they play some, like, you don't want Cam guarding somebody like a Giannis. That would be a little tough, right? I mean, maybe he can hold his own a little bit though. Yeah, it all depends on matchups, but in today's NBA, a lot of teams go small ball, so it probably wouldn't be that bad. Whatever gets him on the court to help the team out. I honestly think that the Knicks should consider using this time to give Jericho Sims some playing time at the 4. Yes, I know he can't shoot, so he can't stretch the floor. But I'm not saying you do it too often, just for a little bit so that he can get some playing time. Just a thought. If anything, what I would do is I would only probably I could only use him with like Hartenstein, not with Mitch. Move Hartenstein, make Jericho the center. Move Hartenstein to the 4 because Hartenstein technically could stretch the floor. So you could put him in a situation where he's at the 20-foot mark, or even right behind the in the corner, or even behind the 3-point line a little deeper, and you can work with that. Jericho down low and allows Hartenstein to kind of do his thing on the perimeter because he's a good facilitator. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. Um, Jack City's in the building. What's good? He said, I'm on the same page as you on that Pat Bev from his past and right now. Yeah, man. I don't think Pat Bev is that dude anymore, man. He talks like it, but he's not that dude. And I've been watching him for a minute because I respect his defensive game. I think he was one of the best. I don't know if he's one of the best right now, though. So you might want to keep that over there. Give us somebody else. You can hold on to Pat Bev. Just saying. Man, child, I will demand their 2027 pick for Fournier. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if the Lakers want to give it up though. Kaiser Soze says the cost. Hold on. The cost for a true star is 6 first-round picks and multiple pick swaps. That's a lot. That is a lot. Nick Yak said, we can match any offer for Cam, play out the season before trading him. We may need him like the next 3 weeks or more. Yeah, it's true. That's the thing about this Nick team. Like, I got a little frustrated that we have so many players at the same position, but then you see that at some point it always plays out. The Knicks wind up getting hurt or people get sick or whatever, and these guys start to play. Problem is when they all come back healthy, then you're in a little bit of a pickle because some of these guys you're like, damn, he didn't get the playing time. Now that this guy got hurt, he got the playing time. He looks really good. Now this guy's back. I want to play him too, but I really like what I saw from him. That's where it gets tricky. And with a coach like Tibbs, the Knicks have been having success right now because he's shortened the rotation to 9 guys. And he injected some more defense with the guys that he's playing out there with Grimes and Deuce. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Kaiser saw this. Halliburton has become a superstar player, and we missed out. Yeah, yeah, I know it's bad. It makes me feel sick. I get it. I get it. I know. We definitely should have took Halliburton over Obi. I know. I think we all know that now. And as much as you may think Obi's a nice kid, good guy, might have some really good talent going forward. He just hasn't tapped into it yet. He's not Halliburton. At this day and age, Halliburton is that dude that we could have, benefited from having on this team. Uh, he says Halliburton is on 19 and 11 assists. I'd take him over anyone currently on the Knicks. Hmm. No, I know this sounds bad. I'm not saying I would take him before Grimes, but I would want Grimes on the team. But I would not take him over Brunson. I know you say, how could you say that, Ron? Halliburton could put up better numbers overall consistently than Brunson. Yes, he can, but Brunson's a pit bull. And I know it takes a minute for everybody to get used to that, but he is a pit bull and he's got that closer gene. Halliburton hasn't shown me he's got that closer gene. Is he a good player? Yes, he's great with some of the stuff he can do, the rebounding, the assists, the scoring that he does do, and the court vision. All that's great, but he ain't a pit bull. He's not a closer. And and I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is the best closer either. He's got some growing to do in that role. But for the Knicks, who haven't had a guy who's been consistently good at getting big baskets down the stretch, he's the best we got. So I would take him right before Halliburton. Like 1A would be Halliburton and 1 would be, Brunson. Banchild said James Johnson is washed right now. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I'm so happy about that too. I can't. You don't understand how I couldn't stand this guy. Hated him. Like oof. Kaiser said that there's no way how Indiana is trading Nimhart. He's a part of the young core. Another kid we passed on drafting. Well, yes and no. We had already made our moves, right? And so our next pick was coming after him because we got Trevor Keels after Nimhart already got drafted. Could we have moved up to draft him? Yes. Could we have moved down to kind of that area to make sure we had a good shot to draft him? Yeah. Another messed up thing. I would much rather you say we get one pick out of this draft and Trevor Keels. I would be much happier if that pick was Andrew Nimhart. Just saying. And you're right. Indiana's not coming off of him. But I'm just thinking like he might be a little redundant when you got Halliburton. Just saying. Uh Nick Yakis wants to know what true stars were 6 picks. I hear you. Kaiser says blame the Wolves. They paid a ransom for Gobert. Yep. Uh Nick Yak said Brunson is 21-7 and cost us no picks. Yeah, I mean that's worth it to me, guys. I know some people like the flash and like the big numbers at all categories, but 21-7, a guy with a pit bull mentality, a guy who hits big shots down the stretch. Even when he misses close. Like the misses look good, So uh, can't be mad at that. The only thing that would make Brunson better is if he could play defense. Um, Pudge Nice says JB. Jalen Brunson, Beverly, RJ, Randall, Mitch, Nunn, Grimes, Obi, Hart, Sims. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it because I look at that. I'm like JB, Beverly, RJ. Can you imagine we got an inconsistent RJ who sometimes can't hit a shot, and Patrick Beverly who ain't gonna shoot at all. Can't score on the inside. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. Um, I mean, at least you get a better defensive presence with Beverly. None is not bad defensively. Maybe it moves the needle, guys. Like, I don't want to be that guy because when you look at the totality of the trade and how it affects your team, maybe they're better because defensively they'll get more stops. And so Beverly's lack of offense will be, won't be that big of an issue because you'll be playing much better defense. I just don't think Beverly's got it. And I think, yeah, the wash term is floating out there. Pudge Knight says, I think IQ will be traded to the Rockets. That'd be interesting. Um, Nick Yak said, if Cam is our backup four until Obi gets back, we need Sims for defense over Hartenstein. Halftime McBride was first guard off the bench. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he might be gone. Shaw Power said, how do you feel about Evan, D Rose, Reddish, and 3 protected picks for Levine? My whole thing is I don't know. I'm not saying by any means that Zach Levine is washed. I think he still could be a very good player in the league. But is he this good? Is he like almost Donovan Mitchell good? I don't know. Listen, I think the thing with Levine is he's a good scorer and he can shoot a little bit. He has his moments where he gets hot, he's streaky. But he's not a great shooter. And I think that he capitalizes a lot on his athleticism. It opens up a lot for him. And the longer he's been in the league, his athleticism is starting to get a little, less. He's still he's still athletic. He's just not very athletic. He was like extra athletic before. Um, and just slightly down a little bit. So, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to give up. I don't mind the Evan D Rose Reddish. I just don't know about the 3 protected picks. Oh, wait, 3 protected picks. Ah. Oh, maybe shot. I don't know. I really feel like those 3 players are maybe 2 picks for Zach, but I may be looking for the homeboy discount. So I don't know, man. Jay Boogie, I said it all the time. The names on the front are soda and the names on the back are iron, and anybody can go with the right trade value. It's a fact. Anthony Payne had to come support the appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Salute. Thank you. Always good. Always good to see you. Pudge Nice Tip said RJ might be playing power forward. Yeah, you know what? Might as well. Might as well put him in the Julius Randle position because they play just alike, and he's starting to be slow. Like he's a power forward. So might as well make him a power forward. Why am I doing it? I'm sorry, RJ. You don't deserve all this. Maybe you do. I don't know. Kaiser says that what makes you think IQ will be traded to the Rockets when they're probably about to draft the point guard talent? I don't know. Oh, well, thank you, Nick Yak. I'm glad you agree with me, bro. I've been looking at him for a minute, and that's just how I feel. And then I said, well, I can't just be thinking this way and not look at his numbers. And I looked at his numbers, and I'm like, it doesn't show that he is what I thought we were getting. That's just me. Maybe some people looked at quickly different. Maybe you look at quickly like a scorer, but is he? So Meaning, because I don't see quickly breaking guys down off the dribble and finishing a lot around the rim. He has done it here and there, and this year he's done it a little bit more than I've ever seen him do it before. But he's not really good at it. He shoots an overhand layup and rather than an underhand layup. The kids like to say jelly. He ain't jelly at all. But that's not a knock on him. You can still be very effective and very good without being that. He just hasn't shown me that, right? And then I'm saying I think he's a great shooter. So let's get him at the shooting guard. But then I'm looking at him shot and his efficiency, and he's right there with RJ. Like RJ is not a good shooter at all when you think about it in comparison, at least this year. Quickly should be running circles around RJ, no? Them numbers, they look a little too similar. Now, RJ's a worse this year, but I'm thinking from the 3 years that Quickly's been here compared to RJ's 3 years with the actual shooting, them numbers is a little too similar. Not the free throw shooting. Quickly's got him by miles on that. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Rockets are building through the draft and not through dumb trades like the Knicks. They got a lot of talent over there. I expect them to be better than they are. I've already said before, Houston is one of my disappointments so far this early season. I expect them to be better than this. I don't understand what's going on. And I don't think they're doing it intentionally to tank. I think that there's some chemistry issues over there. We saw Jabari Smith get into it with who was that? Green, with Jalen Green. Um and who else? That's the problem. They're so young over there. And there's a lot of guys with alpha mentalities, but nobody's an alpha over there yet, really, when you think about it. Like even with Jalen Green, who I love the kid and I think he's got great talent. He hasn't been consistent this year. He's starting to get hot lately though. But like compared to his year last year, he was looking real good. This year we haven't really seen that consistently. So we'll see. IQ's got a high upside. He does, but I think his upside is something we should capitalize on because I really think that he is not what this Nick team needs. So for someone else, he might be great, but this Nick team needs a different look. Just my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be hating on IQ. I like him, but I'm just like certain guys, can give you a little trade value. Nick Yak said Knicks are all homegrown behind Randall. Besides Randall, Pudge Nice says I'm bringing in Pat Bev and none. Okay, I hear you. Listen, if you like the combo, it might be okay. I don't hate Kendrick Nunn. I think Kendrick Nunn is a nice serviceable role player in the league. He can score. Uh, he's streaky. He plays good defense. He gets hurt sometimes, but I don't know if he's gotten hurt too much this season. I haven't really been following him, but yeah. But I like his game. I thought the Knicks should have got him 2 years ago, but they didn't. It's that Pat Beverly though. If it's you like the pit bull and you like the way he plays defense, but his mouth and his antics just he's ridiculous, bro. The way he goes after players on the court and does that stupid stuff, like bumping into dudes. What he did to Chris Paul is one thing. I guess they got some issue. But then what he did the other day to that other player that, like he needs a two-piece and a biscuit too. I mean, he might welcome it. He'd be like, yeah, come on. But he needs that as well. Craig is in the building. What's good, Craig? Good to see you. Uh, he said, salute Ron. Do you think with Obi out with a broken bone in the leg, they will now play Cam? See, that's the funky thing about this Nick team. They do stuff that contradicts and this is why people don't know what they're doing. They have a plan to rebuild or they have a plan to build a certain way and they keep breaking the plan. This happens, they do this. The team overachieved. We went on a hot streak. We got into the playoffs. I mean, we made the fourth seed. We got into the playoffs. Then the Knicks changed a little bit of what they were trying to do and went in a slightly different direction when we probably should have stayed the same course. You know what I mean? We probably have been better off by now. I don't know. You never know with this team. And then the fact that, I mean, how ridiculous is that? If you are actively trying to shop Cam because Cam requested a trade, guess what, guys? Obi goes down. I ain't playing Cam. You want out, you out. You on the bench until I can get you out of here. That's how I would be. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying Cam deserves it. But if you rocking with this coach, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, if Leon Rose is rocking with his coach Tibbs, and Tibbs felt the need to play other guys over Cam because he didn't like what he saw, especially in that game where Cam looked awful. It was just one game, but I knew Tibbs was hot because he didn't look good. He didn't look happy about it, and then he wound up benching him for the next game, and then wound up taking him out the rotation. That's crazy. But we and then plus we heard the rumors about two Nick players being unhappy about playing time. So the other thing is maybe these guys have been chirping a lot. Maybe Cam has been chirping a lot behind the scenes and people are getting a little annoyed by it. So yeah. So that's the thing. Like, Cam might have been asking for playing time for all along because he's like, yo, I can do some stuff out there. I'm playing good defense. I'm giving you effort. Give me more playing time. And then you put up a stinker like you did that other day, and Tibbs is probably like, "Yo, this is you asking for playing time. This is how you play, throwing the ball off your feet and stumbling." And it was like I was watching the movie Blue Chips. I thought he was getting paid off, and it was Nick Nolte in on it. I didn't know what was happening. It was wild. Oh man. Nick Yak says McBride will be Brunson's backup for years to come. It's a little premature to say that, but I do think that McBride should have a role on this team and can be used effectively with the right coach. I don't know if Tibbs is the guy. I know he's doing it now out of necessity, but if he had other weapons, I don't think McBride would have any shot at playing on this team. LeBron will get Cam paid. That's a fact. I think he will. I think he would figure out a way to get Cam to be a little bit more consistent, especially at this age. Like LeBron is not that he was selfish, but as a star player, you just have a certain way that you carry yourself and you treat others around you because I can do and can't. I mean, LeBron can still do a lot. It's just it takes more out of him. So I think he would like to depend on a guy like Cam at certain points. Clutch runs the Lakers and CAA runs the Knicks. How about that? Um, we can let Cam touch the market and match like with Brunson. Ooh, now you're talking, Kaiser Soze. He said the only player I want from the Lakers would be Pippen Jr. Yes, where do I sign up for that? Pippen Jr. But I don't just want Pippen Jr. But I do want Pippen Jr. Like, give me Pippen Jr. See, give me Pippen Jr. Give me Kendrick Nunn, and I want some draft picks. At least one. I need a first rounder. Um, Shop Howard says, I don't know. I don't think we move Reddish and Cam. I mean, yeah, Reddish and IQ in the same season. That I may agree on. Um, but I could see it happen if they need to move Fournier and they don't want to attach a first round pick to do it. They might Reddish technically Reddish could go on a trade by himself. We never know what they're gonna do just to get him out of here. And then you're stuck with Fournier still, and then you might have to throw IQ in there to get Fournier out of here, or you throw Obi in there. Somebody would have to go in that trade to get Fournier out of it. It would either be a draft pick or a player that some of you guys might not want to see gone. So keep that in mind. Um, uh, Beal's going to Boston. I don't know. I mean, I could see him fitting in over there. Oh, well, let me not say that. I don't know if he would fit in over there. I could see him going there. I don't know. I don't know. But does Boston need him? That's the question. Brogdon has been playing good and looking really good for them. I don't know. Um, Pudge and I said, yeah, iHeart is a power forward. He's a trash center. Maybe he's better at power forward. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I honestly feel like I said it before. I'm just the verdict's still out on iHeart. I saw him play really good defense the other day, and I just feel like this Knicks scheme of defense is not good for iHeart and how he's used to playing. The Clippers played things differently, so I don't know. He said we have our own Beverly and Deuce. Yeah, he's a softer version of Beverly. What up, JJ? Salute. Appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you. Yeah, he's a softer version of Beverly. He don't bark. He don't have that intimidation factor yet. It could happen. It could grow. Could grow. He could be maybe. I'd be happy if he just turned into like a Tony Allen. Tony Allen was nice on defense, and he had a little pit bull in him. He gave some nice moments for the teams he was on. Nick Yak said Hartenstein shooting threes at 20%. He can't play outside. Yeah, I hear you. Like I wouldn't want him to be out there taking threes, but I would want him to be like, somewhere on the perimeter. Like because he's a little bit dangerous. He's the type, not that he could break you off the dribble, but if you overcommit, he can find the open guy. He's a great passer, guys. We don't see enough of it, but Hartenstein is a really good passer. Kane Jerry, salute. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I can honestly say I don't know if I've seen your name here for the NBA report. Maybe you've been on NBK, but thank you for being here and tuning into the show. He said you could play Hart at the 4, but can definitely might have another chance again. But Cam, definitely might have another chance again. Yeah. I just think, well, if they do play him, would that mean that he didn't really ask for a trade, guys, or like this was all something that was made up? Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. Listen, JJ, if the Mets do that, I am very happy with this offseason. However, I feel like the Mets need a bat. I still think the Mets need another hitter who can, you know, hit the ball out the park. I think that's what they're missing. But the bullpen, the way they're addressing it now, I like. I think that Cohen and the boys over there said, "Listen, that bullpen last year was a struggle fest. We got to do something to clean it up." And he's putting his money where his mouth is. Now, the fact that he gave Nemo 8 years, 162 million. Ooh, I had to look back at that. But 8 years, 162, the way it breaks out, I guess it's not that bad. It just oof, sounds like a lot. Josh, what's going on? AKA Uncle Fulio in the building. What's good? He said, I predicted Cam would be gone before the season. Even with his defense, I could see the Knicks signing him to a con. I couldn't see that. And I agree with you 100% on Cam. I said the same thing prior to him playing good defense. I just don't think, like, when at the end of the season, when you look at your books, you're paying Jalen Brunson 100 million, paying Julius Randle 100 million, paying RJ Barrett 100 million. I just couldn't see them committing to Cam, who has not shown consistency and gets hurt. I couldn't see them committing to him because, I feel like they could use that money somewhere else with more consistent play and more reliability. And now, even more, I think actually RJ may have hurt Cam's case too, because the fact that RJ is so inconsistent and like now a little bit more inconsistent than ever and playing really bad basketball at times, I think now they're like, oh boy, now we can't do this with Cam because we don't know what we're gonna get. And what RJ's doing, this team will be handicapped for years to come. Yeah, I don't know about that. Jay Boogie said, Ron, did you get that sunshine off your IG? No, man. I have not. I have not. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out though. Right after I finish this up. Um, let's see here. Front office wants to save the PG position for Brunson. Pudge Knight said JB think he AI. Yeah, I think the way this Nick team is so deficient at the point guard spot, and sometimes the shooting is not consistent, and we need scoring. I think he feels that he has to step up, but I think he might have been doing a little too much of it. I think he's going to come back down to earth. This just he's just having a moment. So they said Halliburton is a better two-way player and a better passer. Halliburton hit a game winner this season. Listen, I hear you, Kaiser. How many games have you noticed in the fourth quarter Either the Knicks had a chance to win because Brunson hit big shots, or the Knicks won because he hit big shots to keep them in the lead. I'm just telling you, Brunson is a pit bull, and he is the closer type. Um, I don't think you should have to give up one for the other. To be honest, I said it before. I said it earlier. What was it, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? I wouldn't mind having Halliburton and Brunson here. Doesn't bother me. I like it. I like the idea because Brunson doesn't have to be a facilitator. As you can see, he played with Luca. So, and he could facilitate if Halliburton's on the bench, or he could just play the role he played with Dallas, which was pretty effective. So I'm good either way. Um, let's see. Manchild says Brunson covers his defensive miscues on the offensive side. That's true, except for last night. Although he played, pretty good team defense, but his offense was really lacking. He's had a couple stinkers the past couple games. But like I said, with Brunson, you don't worry about it because statistically for his career, you see how efficient he is. He's going to have a bad game here or there. I'm not worried about him at all. Halliburton is a better two-way player, and he's a better passer at 6'6", can guard multiple positions. Another good point for Halliburton. Although someone told me before that Halliburton is not really the greatest defender. Hmm. He can guard the positions, but that doesn't mean he's doing a lot of guarding. He's just a good size. I don't know. I got to look into that. I don't know about that. I'm going to do some research and I'll check and see how good Halliburton is as a defender. Um, JJ said we need a legit small forward that's a good defender and can score efficiently. Yeah, I agree. Pudge Nice says Levine is a possibility according to Woj. Yep. Levine's shot selection is terrible. Shout out to Debo the guy. What's good? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. He said Cam to the Lakers, make it happen. Next, Pat Bev and Nunn. I guess some of you guys are really on the Pat Bev and Nunn train. Like I said, for what Pat Bev was, I wanted it. I even said it before he got traded. I'm like, I would love Pat Beverly on the Knicks. Just watching him, he just doesn't seem like the Pat Bev I'm used to. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Josh says every time a star player becomes available or assumed to be available, Knick fans question said player. Literally happens all the time. We don't need that guy. Make the move, Knick fans. I tell you. Hey man, listen. That's Knick fandom. We're always going to question players. I don't know, man. Maybe when, like I said before, when the guy's on your team, maybe you don't look at things the same way. I just think that Pat Bev is starting to decline. We'll see. It could happen. The only reason to trade with the Lakers is if they give us some first round picks. Agreed, which they're trying to hold on to. Shout out to Jerry Fitz. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. He said Cam, D Rose, Fournier. That's $40 million for Westbrook. Westbrook will be waived. Knicks will have $55 million in cap room this offseason. I like it. I like it. I was okay with it before. I even suggested it at one point. People shot it down because I think it was a little too early for people to think that way. But like, I'm okay with it. I'd do it too. I'd do that just to get Westbrook over here, get that money off the cap, and have that going into next season. Now, what the Knicks can do with it, I don't know how solid trust I have in the front office that they'll make the right moves because front office, and when it comes to free agency, has not always made the right moves. So Brunson, I think, is fine. I'm not even mad at iHeart because I think I told you guys, I think iHeart is a victim of the situation. I think Tibbs' defense, the way we play, doesn't fit what iHeart was good at with the Clippers. My opinion. Um, they should be blowing it up and not building on the shaky foundation. Good point. Kaiser, how does a team trade for a player who wants out and gets no playing time for a first round pick? He's leaving anyways. He's not going to sign the rookie extension offer. Maybe true. Low risk, high reward for none. Yeah, I like none. The only problem with none is he gets hurt, but for the most part, I think he's been okay. Josh says the foundation is shaky because we don't have that guy. Don't preach to me with the same cliches that y'all been spewing the last 4 years. Okay. All right. All right. Josh is in his controversy mode. I see you, Josh. And good show early. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I watched like the first half hour before I jumped on the train. Good as usual, man. You really know how to bring out the content. Kaiser says, watch when they do make the bad trade, Josh, and it fails. You will be singing that we should have built through the draft. You could be right about them making a bad move. We'll see. Paris, Doug is in the building. What's going on, Paris? Good to see you. He said, I love my draft picks and I don't want any of them sent away by an overage coach like we traded Trevor Ariza for Coach Brown, who won 23 games. Funk that. I hear you. I hear you, bro. Josh says, and the alternative is for us to be stuck where we are now. Y'all regretting that we don't have Spider or KD or now Levine. Now, well, he's talking to y'all because I don't care about Levine here. I never wanted KD here, but I'm selfish and have my personal reasons for not liking him as a player. So, as a person, as a player, he's we know who KD is, but I just didn't want him here. That's just me, you know. But Spider, yeah, I regret that one. Definitely want a Spider here. Let's see here. Pudge Nice says the league is pushing the vets out. Teams getting out of hand. That's interesting, Pudge. I'd like to do a little deeper dive on that. Maybe next week if I find some research and stuff to kind of really look at that. Interesting. I'll start that. Maybe I can do a little research for next week about that. Rand Rock in the building. Salute to you. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. He said, oh, he's talking to Josh. Okay. All right. That might be the thing that takes me over the edge, Debo. If Pat Bev's contract is expiring, yeah, I think I could be okay with that. I'd bring him in for the half of the season and his antics and whatever he does. And if he looks bad, if he looks like a shell of himself, it's okay because he's expiring. I might do that. Okay, you sold me on that. That's a good point. I can work with that because I don't want to be tied into Beverly for multiple years if he's stinking it up. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with his attitude if he's not giving me what I'm hoping I'll get out of him. Yeah. Can someone explain to me how the Knicks changed their course after the fourth seed? Well, Josh, I guess I will explain it since I'm the one who said it. The Knicks changed their course because the Knicks team had a defensive backcourt and some defensive front court pieces, right? They decided to give up some of that defense with regards to Reggie Bullock and Alfred Payton, and they went with more of a balanced type offensive uh, plan, which would include Fournier and Kemba Walker, which honestly, we've already talked about this on your end. You even may have pointed it out that those signings of those players may have been more cap filler because of the requirements to use a certain amount of cap. I don't think anybody thinks Fournier and Kemba were a plan A. I don't even think they were a plan B. So, because of the fact that you knew you couldn't get anybody else, that's what we wound up with. But they were willing to let some defense go to bring in some more offense. They just brought in the wrong offensive pieces, if you ask me. And I say that they changed their philosophy because the Knicks were not expected to make the fourth seed or even make the playoffs. There's always a good chance that's your goal. You want to make the playoffs, but the Knicks overachieved. If you look at the Knicks record throughout the whole season before they went on that not historical, but before they went on that great run, look at what their record was. Look at how they were playing. Then they went on that run, which was fantastic and propelled them. I believe that, and it kind of shows me that the front office had a certain stance. They were talking about, remember what Steve Mills and what Scott Perry were talking about prior to everything that took place. They were talking about building and cultivating young talent and creating and building from the ground up and really I don't necessarily think that they continued to do that once they made those moves. And then if you want to say, well, they did, Ron, no, because they have not shown that they can develop the talent that we've so far seen. Uh, some of the guys have gotten a little better. I would say quickly has developed. He's been developing. Obi hasn't developed. You could even say that RJ hasn't developed. I know that's a tough one, right? But if you look at RJ's progression from his first 2 years to his 3rd year, the only thing that really went up, and maybe his assist went up slightly, maybe his rebounds went up slightly because of his usage rate and the minutes he was playing, his points. That's what went up from like 17 a game to 20 a game. But his inefficiency was horrible and his defense started to get bad. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but he's digressed the last year and a half. My opinion, but I think there's some factual analysis to back it up. So, I mean, that's part of my point of saying that when you look at what happened, I think the Knicks thought, or the front office thought, that we had achieved more than they expected, and we might be a little better than they predicted. So, we don't have to cultivate or stay the course with all this, continued young talent and moving a certain way. We might have what we need now to go to the next level, not the best level, the next level. Um, let's see. Uh-huh. Jerry Fitz says this front office has nothing to do with the two huge mistakes Knicks have made last few years. Scouted Kentucky, but took Knox out. Not SGA. Took Frank over D Mitchell. That's true. That's a good point. I mean, we did take Obi over Halliburton, though. But at least Obi can give you something. Obi is better than Knox or Frank Ntilikina. So, um, Mark Butler in the building. Salute. One bad game, you bench for life. RJ and Randall have seasons of bad play and get rewarded with even more time. Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, it's a little harsh over here in Nickland. You're right, Mark Butler. Um, Debo said the Pelicans own the Lakers' first round pick. Mm-hmm. Paris Douglas says Brunson is hurt. He needs a game off. I definitely do think he needs a little rest. And I don't know if he fully recovered and healed up from that, the hurting his shin. Remember he hurt his shin like a few games back, especially when that dude, I forgot what player was it, but he fell on him. That didn't help either. Yep, JJ. Yeah, I think we need another power hitter. Facts. All right. Wow. Huh? What am I missing? What am I missing? Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. And I know okay, Geraldine McIver's in the building. Salute, Geraldine. Good to see you. Appreciate you as always. Nick Yak said, fans killed Peyton, shoots like quickly, but plays better defense, more dimes, larger frame. Wish he was on our bench. Yeah, that's true. Although I don't know about him either. Like it's weird that these guys, like when they're on the Knicks, you undervalue their ability and usefulness. Then they go somewhere else, and you start to say, man, he wasn't really that bad when we had him. But then when you watch him somewhere else, like I never seen Peyton do anything for the Phoenix Suns when he was there. I don't know if he still is there. I really don't know where he is right now. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I figured that you were joking about that because I was like, I don't even think the Mavs are playing tonight. um, yeah. Well, all right, guys. Listen, there's going to be a lot of stuff that continues to come out of everything that's going on with trade rumors and whatever the Knicks are doing, who they bench, who they start, who if this rotation stays at 9, if Tibbs decides to open it back up. We don't know what's going to happen. I just think that we should appreciate it and be along for the ride. There's still a lot of season left to be played, and we don't know what these Knicks are yet. They don't know what they are yet. So we'll see how it turns out. Josh says, I keep having to remind folks that the Knicks signed Fournier, Burks, Rose, Taj, Nerlens, primarily due to open spots. We didn't change course. They knew those guys were going to be moved at some point. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's okay if you're saying that, they figured, and then that's why they signed these guys to, uh, team friendly contracts so that they could be moved at some point, which I agree with that. But to put your team in a position where you've got so many question marks on the roster that just don't look like they fit together, and then you got a coach who decides to make it even worse by not playing certain guys, even when you have health issues and you have a healthy player on the bench and don't play him. And then you tell me your best option at point guard is Alec Burks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know, one is different from the other. The coach doing what he's doing, the front office doesn't have say or too much control over what the coach is doing. At least that's how they're playing it. But I just think that the direction that they were going to go in, at least the direction that I felt like Scott Perry and Steve Mills were going in, changed. Um, you know, Scott Perry was a part of that, and he's still here. Changed when they went on that winning streak and made the playoffs for the first time in a little bit. It's just a feeling. It's my opinion. I may be wrong, but I think that there's something to it, especially with a front office that's not transparent and doesn't like to talk to you about what they're thinking, and their course of action. Oh yeah, we love our young talent. That this, and this. We want to continue to build with and develop them. Yeah, a lot of people talk, speak, all that media stuff. Good media training. Yeah. Okay. Spanish Harlem in the building. What's good? Salute. Jay's in the building. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Debo said, "Do you want the tibulator gone next season?" I want the tibulator gone in the next game. uh and before I get out of here, I'll answer this question from Debo. He said, name 5 Nick players you wouldn't mind being gone next season. That's in rotation. I could name 5 Nick players I wouldn't mind being gone right now. Fournier, Rose. I know it's hard to say it when he's playing so good. Randall, It's tough for me to say this, guys. I don't want you guys like, what? Are you kidding me? Yes, but yeah. Fournier, Rose, Randall, Obi, and Cam. I'd be okay with all five of them being gone. But I don't. It's not like I want Cam to be gone. I'm just know that Cam is going to be gone. It's inevitable. He's the Thanos of the Knicks. It's inevitable. Okay, he's not going to be here. So I'm already putting him in my five that would be gone. Do I want him gone? No. Especially if you get rid of those other four, keep Cam. I'm happy with that. But I think he's going to be gone anyway. So that's why I put him there. And I don't necessarily want RJ gone yet. He has to, you know, he's got a longer leash for me. I need to see what he can do. I know this is really bad right now, but I do think RJ is going to turn it around at some point. I just don't think he's this bad of a player. But he's making a good case for being this bad. Anyway, all right, guys, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. I know this was kind of a late show. Not late, but like it was supposed to start at 8 and I decided to do it at 9 because I wasn't here. I was at work. But I appreciate y'all coming through and sticking and rocking with me. Thank you to my guys, Jose and John. They couldn't be here tonight on the show. But you know, they are always here rocking, and we will be rocking together very soon once again. Shout out to Ashley Inc. in the building. What up, Wiz? Appreciate you, man. He said, I hope that either Sims plays the four, but I prefer if Tibbs is forced to play Cam and he goes off offensively and defensively, outdoing RJ and Randall. Yeah, that would be nice to see. Like I said, I just don't think that the Knicks want to play. The Knicks want to pay Cam in the long run. But listen, if you can get Cam some playing time and then you decide to move one of these other guys, like if the Knicks move Randall and keep Cam, okay, I'm not mad at it. And I'm saying that in all due respect to Randall, because Randall's been playing really good this season. In his last game, Randall was great. So he doesn't really deserve it. But as a Knick fan and the Knicks, you only get a couple shots to make this type of move. The Knicks really should have traded Julius Randle in the the almighty fourth seed year when they overachieved and did what they did. They should have traded him during the season or right after the season and got as much value as they could get for him, right? Fortunately, what did we talk about in the offseason, guys? The Knicks need to play Julius Randle. They need to build up his value. And once it gets to its highest point possible that you think you can get it at, they need to move him. Well, guess what, guys? That value for Julius Randle is looking pretty high right now. I don't know how much higher it's going to get, but it looks pretty good. So, as much as you say, man, Randall's been, doing pretty good this year, kind of staying out of trouble, just playing basketball. He's looking better. This is when you got to move them. Don't make the same mistake twice. Just saying. I know Randall's been balling, guys. I know it's crazy to say it, but this is what you wanted. You've seen the worst of Randall. You've seen, I don't know if this is have we seen the best of Randall? Maybe, maybe not, but we've seen Randall be good. So the point is, even when Randall's at his best, how good of a Knick team are we? Can Randall put us on his back? Do we see Randall play like this? Do we see the Knicks play like this when they play good teams that have all their talent? Haven't seen it yet. We see teams that come into the games against us with people hurt or people out, and we always have some type of break. And then when we play the teams that are good, like the Milwaukee's and stuff, even when they don't look good, they're not even hitting their shots, they still beat us. So that's why I'm saying, like, no matter what we see from Randall right now, don't get lost in the sauce. Trade him, move him while you can, and while you can get something for him. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning in. This was a longer show than I normally do for the NBA report, but I felt good about getting you guys involved. And like I said, I knew I wanted this to be about you guys, your questions, and what you wanted to talk about. but it happened a little later. Uh, you know, so I wanted to stay on and give you guys a little moment. CAA Mafia in the building. The team is capped out with Randall, ninth, 10th seed at the best with Randall. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the end, how far can Randall take you on this team? And if you don't think that Randall is going to take you to the promised land, then you should move on from him. Can Randall take someone else to the promised land if they already like would Randall look good on Dallas? I think he would, guys. I think Randall might take Dallas to another level because Dallas already has good defense and they've got Luca. Randall might give them what they need. Um, Phoenix. Phoenix is missing something right now. Chris Paul hasn't been the regular Chris Paul. And, say what you will about DeAndre Ayton. He kind of soft. He doesn't really give them what they really need. Randall could give you a little bit more intimidation factor in Phoenix with having other weapons like Booker, Chris Paul, having Ayton over there, Mikal Bridges, the defense, stuff like that. Randall could go to work over there. So I'm saying on a different team, Randall could be a really good player, a really good fit, and he might be the piece that gets some people over the hump. That's just how it is. He's just not the guy. He's not the number one. So, man. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. This has been another good show. I'm happy when you guys are here to be able to chop it up and talk. Um, thank you for hanging in there with me, man. Hit that, smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. And tune in to next week, SKF Weekly on Monday night. Myself and John and Jose will be back at it, and then we'll flip around and do the NBA report next Thursday. Hopefully, we'll be full the three amigos here. And next time around, you'll see me on Saturday for Know the Ledge at 11 a.m. on Still Nick Fans, guys. So support all Nick content, all the content creators, support Still Nick Fans, and support NBK. Josh, Uncle Fulio's been back in the mix. He's been heavy on it. Shout out to him. The controversy, the shows have been great. The controversy has been right there. Dope Soul Sports Talk is going to be back in the mix very soon. She's been on vacation, Steph the Queen, but she'll be back. She'll also be doing the Queen's Court again. So stay tuned for that. Continue supporting Tony Crow, Nicks and Bruises, the crossover. Continue supporting Sim, the Podfather, with everything he's got going on, pre-games, post-games, shoot-arounds, whatever it may be. And my guy, International Andy. Salute my brother, as always. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all. Big fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Coming in at the last minute on the way out. I will say, he said, how you feel about the Nets running the city? Let me tell you something, big fan Breezy. The Nets are running from their own shadow. Okay. It's like Groundhog Day over there in Brooklyn. They don't know what they're dealing with over there. That team is a dysfunctional mess. Okay. But do I think that they could still make some noise going into the playoff time? Yes. Because they got a lot of talent and they just need the pieces to kind of click together and fit. That the key to that team is Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons can play with any type of regularity and consistency and find his role on that team, Brooklyn Nets can make some noise. They won't win anything really, but they can make some noise. All right, guys. Oh man. CAA said, how do you feel about the Nets having the lowest attendance in the whole NBA this year? You guys are funny, man. Uh, yeah. Y'all shaking things up all right. But I mean, I do think that y'all are gonna, at some point, I think you're gonna have a nice little run. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I think the key is Ben Simmons, though. Yeah. So stay tuned, I guess. All right. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your night. And I will see y'all on Saturday at 11 a.m. Know the ledge. If you know nothing else, know that. And as I always say, tell a friend, tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Nick Fans will be back again on NBK or just on Still Nick Fans Weekly on Know the Ledge. Stay tuned for our content.
Run that